My first impressions of when I arrived at Pompeii was surprise at the scale of the city.
When you first arrive at Pompeii, it feels almost alive. Streets stretch out in neat lines. Columns still stand. Statues remain in place. For a moment, it looks like a city waiting for its people to come back. Then you notice the mountain. Mount Vesuvius looms over everything, silent, unmoving. And once you see it, the truth becomes impossible to ignore. The people of Pompeii lived under this volcano every day, never knowing it would one day erase them. The destruction of Pompeii has fascinated the world for centuries, especially the preserved bodies. Thousands of people frozen at the very moment their lives ended. But there is a mystery that has puzzled archaeologists even more. Just a few miles closer to the volcano lies another Roman town, Herculaneum. It was hit first. It was closer. And yet when archaeologists uncovered it, they found surprisingly few bodies. Why did Pompeii contain so many victims, while Herculaneum seemed almost empty? The answer would take decades to uncover.
I visited Pompeii for the first time during my high school. There are the most amazing archaeological sites in the world.
The story changed when investigators stumbled upon something unexpected. Police discovered an underground network of illegal tunnels outside Pompeii. Tomb raiders had been digging through volcanic ash, stealing artifacts to sell on the black market. Once the looters were caught, archaeologists were finally given access to excavate the area properly. What they found was far larger than anyone expected. Beneath layers of ash lay an enormous villa, one of the largest ever discovered in the Vesuvian region. Excavation was dangerous. The tunnels cut through compacted volcanic material that could collapse at any moment. Progress was slow. For months, nothing remarkable appeared. Then, on the final day of excavation, the ground revealed a hollow. In Pompeii, a hollow in volcanic ash means something important. Organic material once existed there. When bodies decay, they leave voids behind. Archaeologists stopped digging and filled the space with plaster. When the cast was uncovered, the team froze. It wasn't a person, it was an entire horse. Then another, and another.
It was the cast of an entire horse.
The villa had stables, and just outside, something even more extraordinary emerged. A ceremonial chariot, decorated with bronze, silver, and traces of gold. It was unlike anything ever found before. Luxurious, elaborate, built not for work, but for display. But the most powerful discovery wasn't about wealth. It was about the people no one ever wrote about. Near the stables, archaeologists uncovered a small room. Bare walls, no mosaics, no decoration. Inside were plaster casts of 3 simple wooden beds, 2 adult-sized, 1 smaller. This wasn't an elite space. It was a service room. Archaeologists believe it was a slave quarter.
So this is a really unusual scene to witness. This is the small room just near the stable.
At least 3 enslaved individuals slept there. One may have been a child. This single room offered a rare glimpse into the lives of Rome's invisible population. People who left no monuments, no inscriptions, no names in history books. At this point, no bodies had been found.
So it's a sort of a little bit of a mystery as to what this room was, because it's doesn't really fit our picture of a lavish suburban villa.
The question remained unanswered. Where were the people? Excavations continued deeper into the villa. Fresco-covered walls appeared. Marble floors. This was clearly where the wealthy owners lived. Then, near the lowest part of the structure, archaeologists found more hollows. Tiny cameras were inserted into the ash. Bones appeared on the screen. 2 victims were there. Plaster casts revealed their final moments. One was a young man, around 18 or 20 years old. His bones showed signs of heavy labor, spinal deformation caused by carrying weight for years.
We found a young boy of about 18, 20 years.
The other was older, around 35. He wore a toga and finer clothing.
The second victim instead didn't have these traces on his bones. We think that he was about 35 years old.
One was likely enslaved. The other was likely the villa's owner. They had fled to an underground corridor, the lowest point they could reach, hoping it would protect them. It didn't. To understand how they died, archaeologists had to reconstruct the eruption itself. A Roman writer named Pliny the Younger witnessed the disaster from a distance. He described towering columns of ash, darkness at midday, and flames lighting the sky. But his account didn't explain what happened inside the cities. The volcano left its own record. In Pompeii, layers of volcanic material show that ash and pumice rained down for nearly 20 hours. At first, buildings remained standing. People sought shelter indoors. Doors became blocked by falling stone. Escape became impossible. Pompeii was trapped. Many survived the initial phase, but survival became a deadly illusion. Hours later, the eruption changed. The massive ash column collapsed, releasing pyroclastic flows, torrents of superheated gas, ash and rock racing down the mountain at highway speeds. In Herculaneum, the first surge arrived suddenly, reaching temperatures of over 500 degrees Celsius. People there died instantly. Their flesh vaporized. Their skulls exploded from the heat. There was no time to react, no chance to flee. This explains the mystery. Herculaneum wasn't empty. Its people had gathered in boat chambers along the shore, hoping to escape by sea. Dozens were found packed together, men, women, and children. Many wore rings and carried possessions, suggesting enslaved individuals brought there by their owners. DNA analysis later revealed a mix of origins: local women, men from across the Mediterranean and Europe, a city shaped by movement, trade, and forced migration. Pompeii, by contrast, experienced a slower death. The first pyroclastic flows didn't reach it. People endured hours of falling ash. Roofs collapsed. Streets vanished. When the later surges finally arrived, they were cooler but still lethal. Victims in Pompeii show a distinctive pugilistic posture, arms drawn up, fists clenched. Not a defensive action, but a reaction caused by heat, tightening muscles after death. Same volcano, two cities, completely different fates. Herculaneum died instantly. Pompeii suffered. Most people in the region actually escaped. They fled north toward Naples while the eruption was still unfolding. Those who stayed behind made choices that seemed safe at the time, but turned deadly hours later. Today, the ruins preserve not just buildings, but decisions. Where you stood, when you ran, when you waited. That is what determined whether you lived or died. And that is why Pompeii still feels alive. Because it captures a single day in terrifying detail, when an ordinary city made ordinary choices under extraordinary circumstances. The volcano didn't just destroy Pompeii, it recorded it.